Today, we're turning the pages of a classic that has stood the test of time, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. In his book, Carnegie shares valuable tips on improving social skills, convincing people, and becoming a stronger leader. The book is divided into 4 parts, each full of useful principles. In this video summary, we will quickly go over these principles and give a real-world example to help you understand each one better. Part 1, Fundamental Techniques in Handling People, 3 Principles. Principle 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Anyone can criticize, condemn, and complain. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. Say your colleague makes a mistake. Instead of getting angry, try to understand his viewpoint and offer him your help. Principle 2, give honest and sincere appreciation. How do you make people feel important? By appreciation and encouragement. If your child clears their room without being asked, your appreciation would make them feel valued and motivate them to repeat such good behaviors. Principle 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. Talk about what they want and show them how to get it. If you want to encourage your team to use a new software, focus on how it will simplify their tasks, instead of simply listing its features. Part 2, 6 ways to make people like you, 6 principles. Principle 1, become genuinely interested in other people. If you only try to impress people and get them interested in you, you won't have many true friends. For instance, if you meet a person at an event, showing real interest in their hobby makes them feel special and appreciated. Principle 2, smile. It's straightforward but powerful. A genuine smile can break the ice with new people, making you more likable. Principle 3, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. The average person is more interested in his or her own name than in all the other names on earth put together. Using a person's name during conversation makes him feel unique and forms a positive connection. Principle 4, be a good listener. Listening to others will make the other person feel important and the conversation enjoyable. So when a friend shares their problem, try to talk less and listen more. Principle 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests. People like to talk about themselves and the things that they enjoy. If you know a friend loves basketball, asking them about recent games, their favorite teams, or how they got into basketball will trigger an engaging conversation. Principle 6, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. When people feel important and valued, they are more likely to have a positive view of you. For example, giving an honest compliment to your neighbor on their beautifully kept garden will make them feel important and respected. Part 3, how to win people to your way of thinking, 12 principles. Principle 1, the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Most arguments end with each person more firmly convinced than ever that he is absolutely right. If you feel that the conversation is turning into a heated argument, say something like it's clear we have different perspectives, and that's okay. Let's agree to disagree and continue this conversation respectfully. Principle 2, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, you're wrong. You cannot teach a man anything, you can only help him to find it within himself. When someone makes a statement that you know is wrong, say, well, I thought otherwise, but I may be wrong. If I am wrong, I want to be put right. Let's examine the facts together. Principle 3, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Let's say you're in a team meeting and you misinterpret a piece of data, leading to an incorrect conclusion. A team member points out the mistake. Instead of getting defensive, take a moment to review the information, and if you indeed are wrong, admit it. You could say something like, you're right, I misunderstood the data. Thanks for pointing that out. Principle 4, begin in a friendly way. Remember the words of Lincoln, a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. If you need to discuss an issue with a coworker, approach them with a friendly and open attitude to set a positive tone for the conversation. Principle 5, get the other person saying, yes, yes immediately. By getting others to agree with us from the beginning, we can effectively steer the conversation towards a more favorable outcome. When proposing a new idea to your boss, start with things you know they'll agree with to create a positive yes-saying mindset. Principle 6, let the other person do a great deal of the talking. When negotiating a deal, let the other party talk about their needs and wants. This can help you understand their position better and propose a solution which benefits both of you. Principle 7, let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. People have more faith in ideas that they discover for themselves than in ones handed to them. Suppose you want your team to adopt a new method. Presenting it in a way that they feel they contributed to it will increase their acceptance. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Other people may be totally wrong, but they don't think so. Don't criticize, but instead try to understand them. Understanding a client's viewpoint can help you serve their needs more effectively. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Suppose a friend is excited about a business idea they have. Even if you don't think it's the best plan, being dismissive could hurt their feelings and damage your relationship. Instead, you could say, "It sounds like you've put a lot of thought into this. What do you see as the next steps?" Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. Try to motivate people by appealing to their higher values and aspirations rather than giving them commands. If you need volunteers for community service, highlight the difference they can make to appeal to their sense of contributing to the society. Principle 11. Dramatise your ideas. The truth has to be made vivid, interesting, dramatic. To raise funds for a cause, share compelling stories that highlight the importance of the cause, not just dry facts. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. By framing a task or goal as a challenge, you can turn it into an opportunity for individuals to prove themselves, often leading to increased motivation and improved results. If your team's performance is lagging, challenge them to reach a higher target, appealing to their ambition and team spirit. Part 4. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or rousing resentment. 9 principles. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. It is always easier to listen to unpleasant things after we have heard some praise of our good points. When an employee does not do well, start by acknowledging their hard work, then suggest improvements. Principle 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. By addressing mistakes indirectly, we can provide constructive feedback without causing embarrassment or resentment. Instead of directly pointing out a team member's wrong work, ask questions that lead them to realize their mistakes on their own. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Admitting one's own mistakes, even when one hasn't corrected them, can help convince somebody to change his behavior. Instead of simply pointing out when your child tells a lie, you could share a story about a time when you lied as a child and the negative consequences you faced. Principle 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Imagine you're leading a project and you want a team member to change the way they're handling a task. Instead of directly ordering them to do it your way, ask them a question like, "Do you think there might be a more efficient way to handle this task?" Principle 5. Let the other person save face. Imagine you're a manager and an employee has made a mistake in a report. Instead of calling them out in front of the team, talk to them privately. You could say, "I noticed there might be a small error in the report. Could you double check it?" Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. By recognizing and praising small improvements, we encourage continued effort and make people feel good about their progress, which often leads to even more improvements. Imagine you are a teacher and a student has improved their grade slightly. Even though they're not yet a student, compliment their progress. You could say, "Your hard work is paying off. Keep it up." Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Suppose you're a manager and you notice that one of your employees is not performing up to their potential. Instead of criticizing them, tell them that you have always known them to be diligent and hardworking, and you're confident they can meet the high standards they've set in the past. Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. By encouraging and minimizing the difficulty of correcting mistakes, we can inspire confidence and make the task seem attainable, boosting the likelihood of improvement. If a teammate is struggling with a task, encourage them and offer help, assuring them that they can overcome the obstacle. Principle 9. Make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. By making people happy to do what you suggest, you're turning tasks into positive experiences, leading to a more enthusiastic and productive outcome. If you need your friend to accompany you for a health checkup, highlight the fun aspects like a hearty meal after the checkup. In summary, the book teaches us that respecting others, showing genuine interest, and avoiding unnecessary criticism are key to winning friends and influencing people. If we now apply these principles to our life, we can truly make a positive impact on our personal and professional relationships.